లైఫ్ సైన్సెస్ రంగంలో ప్రపంచ హబ్గా హైదరాబాద్ అవతరించిందని మంత్రి KTR చెప్పారు. తెలంగాణ ఈ రంగంలో ఇప్పటికీ $80 బిలియన్ వృద్ధిని సాధించిందన్న మంత్రి 2030వ సంవత్సరం కల్లా $250 బిలియన్ వృద్ధిని సాధించడమే లక్ష్యంగా పనిచేస్తున్నామన్నారు. ప్రజాస్వామ్య ప్రభుత్వాలున్న దేశాల్లో అభివృద్ధి, సంక్షేమం రెండింటినీ సమపాలలో ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్లడం సవాల్గా మారిందన్నారు. ఈ నేపథ్యంలో లైఫ్ సైన్సెస్ రంగంలో పెట్టుబడులు పెట్టేవారికి ప్రభుత్వాలు ప్రోత్సాహకాలు ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం ఉందన్నారు. ఈ మేరకు తెలంగాణ ప్రభుత్వం వరల్డ్ ఎకనామిక్ ఫోరం భాగస్వామ్యంతో పెట్టుబడులను ఆకర్షిస్తున్నామని చెప్పారు. హైదరాబాద్ HICCలో జరుగుతున్న BioAsia 2023 సదస్సు వేదికగా నిర్వహించిన CEO కాంక్లేవ్ ప్యానెల్ డిస్కషన్లో మంత్రి KTR పాల్గొన్నారు.
Telangana today, in fact, is one of the leading powerhouses of life sciences in the world, not just in India. As I was mentioning earlier, not only pharmaceuticals, but vaccines, biotech, and then we have medtech, and now health tech. I think all of these areas, Telangana continues to be a very, very dominant player with the who's who of the industry from across the world, making it one of their most important hubs. In the US and all the Western countries, in fact, the universities spend billions of dollars in terms of research opportunities, in terms of the kind of grants they get. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of a similar kind in India. So therefore, at least the least you can do is when the private sector is investing heavy money into research and development, the least you can do is actually incentivize them to come out with more and more innovation. It could be a startup or it could be a large global MNC, Indian MNC, which has done truly well. So I've been a huge champion, and in fact I've been making a case with the government of India for the same as well. We are still a third world country, especially India, and each of the democratically elected governments in the states such as ours, we have to balance both welfare and development. So therefore, coming to fiscal prudence, while you would want to do a lot more, as I was pointing out, again, when it comes to really doling out incentives, doling out reimbursements, it becomes a challenge. So the only way, in fact, if you ask me, we can incentivize anybody who's involved in high-risk capital, but the only thing, from a government perspective that we can do is create that enabling ecosystem. See, for instance, in Telangana, we have partnered with the World Economic Forum to create a Center for Industrial Revolution focused exclusively on life sciences. Now, what will this do? It will bring about multilateral collaboration opportunities where you can have different regions from across the world, learnings from them, like Hari was saying, maybe look at Indianized focus, in terms of drug development, so that you can even deliver at a much lower cost as opposed to trying to conquer the world. That's the one thing we can do. The second thing possibly we can also do as a government, like I said, instead of trying to boil the ocean, maybe identify few areas. Maybe say, okay, these are the challenges. Maybe only NCDs, and among NCDs, maybe focus only on, say, oncology or cardiovascular problems, and then go at it fully, as opposed to trying to do everything in one go. Maybe each state can be asked to focus on one area, each cluster can be asked to focus on one area, then we could possibly synergize and synthesize something that is truly good for India. Because if you want to do everything, then you'll be spreading your resources too thin and you won't be able to accomplish much. I think that sort of an approach. We've obviously been in consultation with many of the international authorities, including FDA as well, and the drug controllers in India as well. So more and more decentralization, but if you really look around 28 states, there are hardly 3 or 4 states where predominantly the business is done. So I think these 3 or 4 states together with Government of India can work out a model which I think is working reasonably well so far, but it further can be decentralized and further can be made better. There isn't enough reward for an Indian entrepreneur to take big risks. That is a fact. And as long as we don't recognize it, the fact is, we're a very price-sensitive country. We can't have overpriced drugs. At the same time, we also cannot push these guys to innovate when there isn't enough reward there. The life sciences industry in Telangana to grow from $80 billion currently to $250 billion by 2030. And what I would see also happening is in the short term, because you were also talking about what we are excited about. In the short term, I see a beautiful confluence of technology and biology coming into play and helping the industry really sort of leapfrog. And then in the longer term, in terms of scale, the Hyderabad Pharma City, which will be the world's largest pharma cluster, coming in to help achieve those economies of scale and eventually propel India, hopefully, with novel drugs approved in the US, as somebody was asking, and also coming out with several other innovative products, like Hari was saying, for the Indian market, an Indianized solution, cutting down the regulatory red tape and other things, and hopefully showing us beautifully to the world by 2030 with Telangana again, being the nucleus of it. Thank you.